This is Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. We connect people, power stories, and amplify voices. On Rapid TV, we're rooted in culture and your window to the stories that matter. From news to lifestyle, we inform, entertain, and uplift. Join Rapid TV on Star Times Channel 176, Nigecomsat. On Rapid FM, we speak your language from the soulful airwaves of Umuahia to the vibrant culture of Port Harcourt and beyond. More than broadcasters, we're creators, amplifying that voice within with powerful content across TV, radio, and digital. Join us at rbnradiotv.com and all our social media handles. One network, one voice. Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN, the sound of your city. Rooted in truth, driven by impact.
From the heart of Africa, where dreams are born and passion is boundless, a new wave of talent rises. In La Liga, these extraordinary athletes are not just playing the game, they're transforming it.
Rodriguez, the man chasing, it's Lamine Yamal! What a magnificent goal that is!
They shine on the world stage. Watch as they redefine football, inspire millions, and make history. La Liga, where dreams become reality.
This is Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. We connect people, power stories, and amplify voices. On Rapid TV, we're rooted in culture and your window to the stories that matter. From news to lifestyle, we inform, entertain, and uplift. Join Rapid TV on Star Times Channel 176, Nigecomsat. On Rapid FM, we speak your language from the soulful airwaves of Umuahia to the vibrant culture of Port Harcourt and beyond. More than broadcasters, we're creators, amplifying that voice within with powerful content across TV, radio, and digital. Join us at rbnradiotv.com and all our social media handles. One network, one voice. Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN, the sound of your city. Rooted in truth, driven by impact.
My name is Akio Sakido.
Hey guys, this is Anto Lecky.
My name is Theo Bliss.
My name is Akava, go by the name Baba D.
And you're tuned into Rapid TV. And I love Rapid TV.
Shout out
Rapid TV.
Thank you, Rapid TV. Please keep watching
Rapid TV.
This is Rapid TV.
Rapid
TV.
Keep watching.
Keep it down.
Leave it like that.
Nigeria's economy, the global markets, what does it all mean for you? From stock market insights to global financial news you need to know. From Wall Street to the main street and of course, the marketplace.
Get the answers you need every week on Business Lens as I bring into focus the stories, strategies, and shifts shaping our economy. No angle is missed as I talk about the business, the people, patterns, and possibilities behind them. Welcome to the Business Lens.
Rapid TV, rooted in truth, driven by impact.
In a world where every swipe, click, or tap is shaping our future, technology is no longer a distant dream. It is the heartbeat of Africa and the world at large. From innovations to gadgets to startups and digital lifestyles, Tech Up with Victor takes you round. A show that makes technology simple, practical, and exciting for everyone. Join us every week on Rapid TV as we break down tech trends, spotlight African innovators, and connect Africa's digital story to the global stage. Tech Up with Victor, where innovation meets you.
My name is Faith Daffa Joseph.
Name is Martha Alu.
My name is Victor Arke.
My name is Divine Alex.
My name is Esther Omen.
My name is Arthur James Brooks. My name is Godwin Sunday.
I am Ijoma Victor.
My name is
From the heart of Africa, where dreams are born and passion is boundless, a new wave of talent rises. In La Liga, these extraordinary athletes are not just playing the game, they're transforming it.
Chasing, it's Lamine Yamal. What a magnificent goal that
They
is!
shine on the world stage. Watch as they redefine football, inspire millions, and make history. La Liga, where dreams become reality.
Okay, all is now set for that big battle that we go down at the Emirates Stadium later tonight, where Arsenal will be up against visiting Sporting CP. And let's also tell you also the same battle will be going down in Germany at the Allianz Arena, where Bayern Munich will want to stretch it further after 90 minutes as they entertain visitors Real Madrid from Spain. Now, they have probably been awaited in the semi-finals, where we already have the winners from yesterday's game, talking about a PSG who defeated Liverpool 2-0, and also we have the likes of Atletico Madrid, despite losing that game at home to Barcelona 2-1. Are already through to the semi-finals of the season's UEFA Champions League. Well, glad to know you're still there, and thanks for joining us on the midweek breakup, midweek sports show this evening. That is Rapid Sport on Rapid TV, and I am Ijoma Victor. Okay, we have other top stories. We are presently on my table, where our guests will join in matter of minutes as we tend to look at and discuss the top stories that we are having, and also take a look at the UEFA Champions League that we go down later this evening. Meanwhile, we'll begin with boxing, where a promoter for Anthony Joshua, Eddie Hearn, says a heavyweight showdown between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua is not going to happen at the Croke Park. Hearn also confirmed he will have talk in Dublin on Friday to secure the stadium for Akati Taylor's farewell fight. Now, last week, Croke Park Stadium chief executive in the person of Peter McKenna suggested a long-awaited fight for Taylor at 82,000 capacity home of Gaelic Games could happen on a card shared with Tyson Fury. Now, the Gypsy King probably made a winning return after 15 months out of a point hash blank at talk about that fight against Makudov on Saturday, and immediately called for a fight with a long-time rival, Anthony Joshua, who was present at the ringside. Although no contract have been signed, and a fight between the pair may take place later this year, but it will not be in Dublin, according to Eddie Hearn, who promotes Joshua and Taylor. Now, Hearn says Taylor's deserve to be the star attraction of any big night at the Croke Park. Well, everyone is actually anticipating that big fight between Anthony Joshua and the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury. Well, he came out of retirement, defeated his Russian opponent, and now he has called out to Anthony Joshua. Now, let's head straight to what's happening with the Super Eagles, where Super Eagles head coach Éric Chelle has announced his intention to scout for players of Nigerian descent across Europe to be monitored exceptional talent in the Nigerian Premier Football League as preparations for the 2026 Unity Cup begins. Now, the 2026 Unity Cup is set to occur in the month of May at the Valley, the home stadium of Charlton Athletic. Now, after a challenging season, now Chelle is anticipated to rest several key players from the Super Eagles squad for the Unity Cup in London, thereby allowing for the inclusion of new players as he assesses fresh talent. Now, Nigeria is scheduled to compete against the Warriors of Zimbabwe in their opening match on Tuesday, May 26, and may face the winner between Jamaica and India in the final if they advance. Now, in addition to scouting players internationally, Chelle indicated that he would also reconsider players who have previously been called up but have not yet made an appearance or have had limited playing time for the Unity Cup. Now, in a press release on Tuesday, Chelle said the Unity Cup offers an opportunity to evaluate new players. According to him, he will search and invite new talent of Nigerian descent along with those who were previously called up but who did not get the opportunities to play or probably not having much playing time. Now, Éric Chelle gave a debut to Benjamin Frederick. He also had the opportunity to play Igor Ogbu. We also have Felix Agu, who has been invited to come, Christantus Uche, Papa Daniel, Alimi Sikiru, Chinemerem Ugweze, and Ifeanyi Onyebuchi in the previous edition of the Unity Cup. Now, talking about what Éric Chelle said, definitely we'll have our guest see how we can analyze this particular one before the Unity Cup will go down in the month of May. Let's also tell you that Éric Chelle has opened the door of the team to players in the Nigerian Premier Football League and uncapped Nigerian players abroad ahead of the 2026 Unity Cup. Yes, I spoke about this a couple of seconds ago. Is giving opportunities to players in Nigeria. So as we speak, we have a coach in the person of Fidelis Ilechukwu, who is the manager of Rangers International. We also have the light of Daniel Ogumodede, both coach and assistant coaches to Éric Chelle are already in the league. Now, as we speak, the President Federations Cup at state level is already going down, and Éric Chelle will be doing feet to go across venues for key games and pick up players that will play in the Unity Cup. Let's also tell you that according to Éric Chelle, that those players that are key players in the Super Eagles, like the likes of Victor Osimhen, Ademola Lookman, and many of them Wilfred Ndidi, who have been an integral part of the Super Eagles team, all will be rested. Yes, all these players will rest until that international friendly that we go down with Poland and Portugal as the World Cup is around the corner. Now, this is for Portugal and Poland to fine-tune their players ahead of the World Cup. But for Nigeria, we are not going to the World Cup, but it's an opportunity to test fringe players. Players have already been invited to come and they've not played any much time, and those that have not played at all. So these are the players that Éric Chelle will be considering. Well, let's look at how it pans out. Hopefully, like I said, an opportunity for any players in the league to join the Super Eagles team, and the highest goal scorer also from the defense, those that can fit in good positions. Let's see how it goes for Éric Chelle. Meanwhile, we head straight to the UEFA Champions League game played yesterday. Yes, talking about that particular game that was played yesterday, and one man made history. Yes, one man made history in that game, and it's no other person but Ademola Lookman. Yes, Ademola Lookman made history yesterday and joining some players who already made history with the team. Now, let's tell you that Ademola Lookman made history after scoring in Atletico Madrid's 2-1 defeat to Barcelona at the Wanda Metropolitano Stadium on Tuesday night. Now, Lookman became the fourth Nigerian to score in the quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions League. Other Nigerians are Obafemi Martins. Yes, was the first Nigerian to achieve this feat when he netted for Inter Milan against Villarreal in 2006. Tricky winger Samuel Chukwueze joined Martins on the list with his striker for Villarreal against Bayern Munich in 2022. Victor Osimhen joined the exclusive list after scoring in Napoli's clash with AC Milan 1 year later. And Ademola Lookman will be aiming to join Finidi George and Martins among the Nigerians who have scored in the semi-finals. Like I said, he made that goal yesterday that separate both teams, talking about Atletico Madrid and Barcelona. It was the winning goal that settled everything and sealed that semi-final ticket for Atletico Madrid. Let's take that interview of Ademola Lookman after that game yesterday.
Yes, I would say so. Yeah, being there in them moments to make the final decision there. Yeah, enjoying it a lot. So yeah, happy with that. Yeah.
You jumped from the goal to celebrating the fact that you were in the semi-finals of the Champions League. What's the feeling?
Yeah, no, we're very, very happy, of course. You know, to play in this competition and to be here, it shows a credit to the staff, the team, everybody, in terms of the work and the dedication and the quality as well in this squad. So it wasn't easy today. It wasn't easy, I think, but everybody dug in and everyone showed their hard work. Yeah, no, definitely going 2-0 down is not easy. You know, obviously they had a momentum at that time, and one comes up with a massive save against I think Firmin. So key moments like that, it gives everybody belief as well, and to keep going and to know you'll get your moments. No, I think just stay positive in the work in terms of what we believe in. Knowing again we'll get the moments for sure, and we did. But in the end we got the result that we wanted, so that's the most important. You're in the semi-finals of the Champions League, whoever you get is top team, so.
Okay, that was Ademola Lookman after scoring the winning goal yesterday against Barcelona. Well, he lifted the UEFA Europa League, and now he is in the semi-finals in the Champions League. Will he also get that trophy? Just 2 more games to be played, talking about the semi-finals and eventually getting into the final. Well, we have our guest on the other side joining us live via Zoom in the person of James Chimeziema, football analyst, and he'll be joining us live via Zoom as we tend to analyze those games yesterday and also look at the top stories that we actually talked about earlier. Well, it's good to have you, James. How are you doing this evening? And thanks for joining me on the other side.
Good evening, Victor. Good to have you on the show.
Okay, it's good to have you after so many weeks of you not being in town.
Yes. We have to survive. We've been up and about, so we've not really been in one place.
Yeah, it's necessary. It's necessary. And like I said, it's good to have you. Let's go straight into our discussion for this evening. In as much as we want to look at the UEFA Champions League game played yesterday and the game that we go down today, I actually gave an update concerning Éric Chelle giving opportunities to French players in the Nigerian Premier Football League and also players abroad that have not played for Nigeria, so that key players of the Super Eagles, the light of Ademola Lookman, Victor Osimhen, Wilfred Ndidi, and the rest will all rest after the season. So what's your take on Éric Chelle trying to give opportunities to players in the Nigerian Premier Football League and still scout out for some players overseas?
Yes, it is one thing that some of us have always advocated for before now. Considering the fact that most of this period, the Super Eagles do not have any active competitions, or would I say matches that would require them to put in very good performances and all. One would have expected the NFF is supposed to have scheduled a number of friendlies to try and discover a number of players from the Nigerian Professional League. There is no way you want us to believe that there are not 1 or 2 players that they can somehow begin to slowly incorporate into the Super Eagles. Now, it has been embarrassing that for a while, if Victor Osimhen is not striking, we struggle up front. We don't have any alternatives to Onyedika and Ndidi in the midfield. We expect that a number of matches should have been scheduled by now. I like the fact that the Super Eagles coach is already talking about it. A number of friendlies. I hear there is a competition, a mini friendly competition that the Eagles are supposed to also be involved in the coming weeks. This should be opportunities for them to groom new players. Not just new players. If you look at the average age of most of the players in the Super Eagles, in the next 1, 2, 3 years, a whole lot of them are no longer going to be fit or be comfortable with playing the Super Eagles, because by then they are definitely going to be dropping forms and dropping performances. So yes, it's a good one from Éric Chelle. And also the issue of scouting new players is one I have always advocated. there are a number of players with Nigerian origins that are playing especially in some of the top leagues. There are a number of players currently in the German league that are doing so well, that are of Nigerian origin. One would have expected that by now, the NFF would have done 1 or 2 groundworks to at least reach out to some of these players. At least get them a bit comfortable with the fact that, oh, okay, you're going to begin to represent your national teams. With time, some of these players will on their own begin to identify with the Super Eagles.
Okay, you made mention of building new players around regular players of the Super Eagles. If I can recall that the Unity Cup for 2025, which Nigeria won after beating Jamaica via penalties, we also have good new players that were also invited. Most of these players never made it through to either the World Cup qualifiers or the Nations qualifiers. So what will be different from what Éric Chelle will do now prior to the Unity Cup that will go down in the month of May?
Now, the good thing with whatever, at the point where we were playing the World Cup qualifiers, the matches that we needed to play were matches that we needed outright wins. So we needed those established players, especially the fact that most of them were in form and were playing for their various big clubs, like we prefer to term them. But now, there are, like I said earlier, there are no competitive edges to most of the matches the Super Eagles will be playing. So it should be an avenue to discover some of these new players. Now, just like you stated, there were a number of players that were invited then. This next series of matches or friendlies should be an opportunity to see what these players can offer over a number of games. Not just over 1 or 2 random matches that we were desperate to win. Now, we shouldn't be looking at, especially with some of the friendlies that we may be playing, we shouldn't be looking at wanting a win. We should be looking at, okay, what players can come in and offer us something different. Friendly matches shouldn't be matches where we go and then we are looking at if we don't get 5-0, 6-0 and outright wins. No, it should be an opportunity to test some of these new players, give them chances and see what they are going to be adding to the Super Eagles if and when they are called upon.
Okay, let's say we point out with Éric Chelle. That game, yes, a mini tournament will go down in the month of May. Our first game will be against Zimbabwe, the Warriors of Zimbabwe, on the 26th of May. Then we will wait for the winner between Jamaica and India. Yes, heard it again, India. Many will say, is India a footballing nation? Yes, they are, but we know them more for cricket. Yes, they play cricket more and other kind of sport. But when it comes to football, they are still struggling. So I'm sure I see a final between Nigeria and Jamaica, or Zimbabwe and Jamaica, because I don't expect India to beat Jamaica. I don't think that will be possible. But I don't know what's your take on that one, James.
The month of May is very important for most competitive nations, especially when we're looking at the fact that the World Cup is just a month or 2 away. So most of them will just be putting preparations, trying to round up with their preparations and making sure their players are as fit and injury-free as possible.
Yeah.
So I do not expect to see Éric Chelle invite the big boys, the ones we already know, considering most of them have had a very hectic season. We saw the exploits of Ademola Lookman yesterday. Victor Osimhen is nursing an injury with Galatasaray. A number of them have had a very, very hectic season. So I expect him to use those particular run of matches to invite some of these new players and try out, especially the ones from the NPFL. I do not want to believe that we do not have quality enough to make it into the NPFL.
James, I don't think it's the issue of having qualities. I think it's just picking the right players, because yes, truly we have qualities in the league, but picking the right players, because if you talk about the CHAN tournament that has now been scrapped, most of the players apply their trade in the local league, and seriously, but when it comes to playing continental football, either the CAF Champions League or the CAF Confederations Cup, we don't do well. That's just the truth of it. We have the players, but don't you think this list might be influenced Let's be plain with this, because it's an opportunity for players to go showcase their talent, or it's an opportunity for the coach to go to leagues and probably various match centers and select the best players. Is it not an opportunity for some coaches to pitch their players?
Exactly. This brings us back to the issue we have always had. The issues we have always discussed about the intentionality of the NFF in developing Nigerian football. If you check the leaked, supposedly leaked list of some of the demands Éric Chelle made to the NFF in signing a new contract, two things stood out. I wasn't even really interested in how much he was demanding and all the financial requirements of his demands. I was more interested in the fact that he mentioned wanting freedom in selecting his players. He wanted the freedom to select his players. He wanted the freedom to scout and invite players to the Super Eagles. And this is back to the same thing we have talked about what the NFF does. The NFF have always been responsible for what happens with the Super Eagles. I've always stated it. You see that technical committee of the NFF? They are the reason why Nigerian football is where it is the plain truth. We always want to run away from the fact that, yes, they tell you, okay, these players have been invited.
I don't want to talk about the technical department. Let's leave Austin Cerezo Eguavoy as the head of, I don't want to talk about the technical department. Yeah. Maybe until after the next election, I will come in September, or probably when we have a new executive, we'll now know who will head the technical department.
Exactly. And so we are hoping that Éric Chelle will show some form of stubbornness in making sure he stamps his foot down in selecting. Yes, because that is going to go a long way in determining if he decides to sign a new contract or not. Because apparently from the list of requirements he has given to them, he has stated what he wants. So I expect him to begin to show some balls in showing that he's ready to take control and charge of the Super Eagles.
Okay, in as much as it's too early to talk about this, I asked you a question earlier and you didn't answer me. Do you think Jamaica will beat India, or India will beat Jamaica, or probably is it too early to talk about it until wait for the month of May?
The thing with the Jamaican national team and the Indian national team is, over time, okay, let me just give you my take on who I think. I think the Jamaicans should easily edge out the Indians. Because in as much as the Indians have a professional football league,
sure, they do.
I don't think it is as competitive as the Jamaicans. Yeah, I think because the Jamaicans have over time faced top teams in friendly games and the rest, but we've not really heard or seen the Indians do same. So I'm looking forward to meeting the Jamaicans, because that is where we are expecting.
You never can tell, 90 minutes to decide, or anything can happen in football. And this is where we blow the final whistle on the show this lovely Wednesday evening, the midweek edition of Rapid Sport. Hopefully we'll give you all the results 8:30. You don't want to miss that, as we give you all the latest updates coming from the world of sport. I still remain in Joma Victor. Do have yourself a beautiful evening ahead.